aviators, and welcome back to Jurassic Park, also known as Terminal 1 at Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Come join me on a Lufthansa A340-600 tonight, flying to Munich. But first, let's check out the Polaris Lounge, located in Concourse C of Terminal 1. The lounge features a buffet with lots of hot and cold dishes to choose from, as well as a self-serve drink counter for water and soft drinks. If you want to spice things up, there's also a bar located in the middle of the lounge. But one thing that makes this lounge really special is the restaurant within the lounge called the dining room. This restaurant features actual waiters that will serve you hot dishes from a small menu. I didn't have the time to try out the dining room, unfortunately, because my connecting time was quite short. But otherwise, if you have the time, it's a really great option. The lounge has lots of seating options, especially also for solo travelers like me tonight. You can sit in full privacy and even charge your phone and a personal USB port. After only 45 minutes, it was time to head to my gate B17. Chicago O'Hare looks really nice in my opinion, especially Terminal 1 with this nice floor and the high ceilings. This fancy looking tunnel connects Concourse C to Concourse B of Terminal 1. The gate area wasn't too crowded and priority boarding started right after I reached the gate. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch a glimpse of the A340 sitting at the gate. We'll have to wait for that until I arrive in Munich. Welcome on board. This is the small first class section featuring 8 seats. But now let's walk to my seat 7K. It's located in the last row of the front business class section and features the best view in my opinion. Waiting at my seat was this nice pillow as well as a blanket. Pajamas and a seat topper are only provided on flights longer than 10 hours. There's also a bottle of water waiting for you and of course the amenity kit, which I will present later on.
Alle Gäste sind da, die Karo-Nachtbeladung ist abgeschlossen, die noch unbedingt etwas verschicken müssen oder dachten, sie könnten es erst.
While we are waiting for pushback, let's check out the seat features. The seat can be adjusted with this touch panel and can be converted into a fully lie flat bed. Underneath, you'll find the remote to control the in-flight entertainment system as well as a table. The seat features 2 USB power plugs as well as 2 universal power outlets in between the 2 seats. The armrest is adjustable, so sleeping is a bit more comfortable. And there are noise-cancelling headphones available, which are connected to each seat. The amenity kit features a single-use toothbrush and toothpaste, some socks, some covers for the headphones, and a mint to freshen up your breath, as well as some moisturizing cream for your hands. Earplugs, as well as eye shades, are not provided anymore. You can pick those items up in the lavatory as long as they are available. Welcome drinks were provided shortly after with a choice of champagne or orange juice. And while we're still waiting, let's take a look at the menu for tonight's flight. The load factor was extremely low on this flight, so I had an empty seat next to me. This is really great, because normally on Lufthansa's 222 config, you have to climb over your neighbor to get out of your seat.
In der Kabine sinken, fallen automatisch Sauerstoffmasken aus der Kabinendecke. Ziehen Sie die Maske ganz zu sich herunter, um den Sauerstofffluss zu
We pushed back 10 minutes ahead of schedule because boarding was really fast due to the few people flying tonight.
in der Economy und Premium Economy Class zum Verstauen des Handgepäcks auch den Platz unter den Vordersitzen. Dient Ihrer eigenen Sicherheit. Dieses Flugzeug hat
The takeoff will be performed on runway 28 right tonight, so the taxi will take some time. But as we are ahead of schedule, this is not a problem, and it's always fun to watch the airport at night and see all those planes taxiing around. And we're lining up on runway 28 right. Lufthansa almost never shuts off the cabin lights completely during a night takeoff, so those reflections will sadly stay in the window during the whole video. And we're off into the night sky above Chicago. I just love the sound of the A340-600 during takeoff. Those 4 engines are really powerful and lift the giant up without a problem. Enjoy the last views of the Chicago downtown area before we head north across Lake Michigan and into Canadian airspace. While I'm waiting for dinner, let me show you the entertainment system. There are lots of movies available, as well as TV shows. The choice finally got better again, after the last 3 years where you would barely find any movie that's younger than 10 years. And of course there's also lots of music to choose from, as well as some podcasts. The live TV option wasn't available on this flight since the internet wasn't working. The really friendly crew handed out hot towels before the meal service began and also asked what main course I would like to have. mentioned, the in-flight internet isn't working tonight because the equipment seems to be broken. Normally, you could purchase some Wi-Fi passes for a few hours or the whole flight. The meal service began with some cold nuts and a few drinks. The crew even offered me wine from first class because there were not many people sitting up front. The meal was served on one tray and I opted for the beef fillet with mashed potatoes, which was really tasty actually. Of course, the presentation is once again not the best, but I really appreciated this big serving of fresh salad. Normally, Lufthansa serves a few options as starters, but tonight only this salad was available. After the really tasty main course, the crew came around with dessert options, and since I was the last passenger in the business class cabin, I asked if I could have both the cheese and the panna cotta, and I didn't regret it. Let me quickly show you the tray table, which you can move so you can get out of your seat even while eating, which is a really cool feature in my opinion. Welcome to the second business class lavatory located on the right hand side. Here you will find some mouthwash, earplugs, eye shades, as well as a shaving kit. And some more of that hand lotion, which is also in the amenity kit. But the best feature on this lavatory is the window which looks onto the wing and the two engines. The lavatory itself is also really big compared to the others. And this is the aft business class section, which is completely empty today. I've never experienced such an empty cabin on a Lufthansa transatlantic flight. But now it's time to sleep. As I've already mentioned, the seat transforms into a fully lie-flat bed, which is quite comfortable. The only downside is the foot area, which is really tight. The crew handed out some chocolate just before the cabin lights got switched off for the night. And since there's only 6 hours left until we land in Munich, I tried to fall asleep as fast as possible. After about 4 hours of sleep, I woke up just as we entered European airspace above Northern Ireland. Down below you can catch a quick glimpse of Manchester Airport. About 19 minutes before landing, the crew handed out breakfast trays. This cottage cheese with avocado and asparagus and some tomatoes just didn't taste like anything. I don't know who thought of this meal, but it was a big disappointment. I would have preferred something hot for breakfast. After this really odd meal, here's us just passing above Norfolk County. And with just 60 minutes left to land, we're passing the Dutch coast near Rotterdam. And as we began our descent into Munich, we passed just right above Frankfurt Airport. It's always nice to see the terminal full of big planes. This Embraer 195 from Air Dolomiti looks really tiny in front of those clouds. The weather is rather bad as we approach Munich, so we pass through a lot of clouds and it's a bit bumpy as we established on the ILS for runway 26 right.
Sommer und die gesamte Besatzung dürfen sich hier von Ihnen verabschieden. Hoffen, dass Sie sich bei uns an Bord wohlgefühlt haben. Wünschen Ihnen jetzt einen schönen Tag. Kommen Sie gut nach Hause, haben Sie einen angenehmen Aufenthalt hier vor Ort, beziehungsweise noch eine schöne Weiterreise. Vielen Dank, dass Sie mit Lufthansa.
As we taxi to our gate, we're passing by the only Lufthansa A340-600 that's currently wearing the new livery. I've been trying to fly this aircraft for 2 years now, but I never had any luck. Maybe the next flight. So, what can I say about this flight? The Polaris Lounge in Chicago was absolutely great, and it was too bad that I didn't have more time there. Flying on an almost empty aircraft was also a really great experience. The food options for dinner were fine and tasted pretty good, but the breakfast was just a big disappointment. I don't know why Lufthansa just doesn't provide a hot option in the morning, especially on those longer flights. The seat is fine, but it's a bit outdated. And if you have someone sitting next to you that you don't know, it's just weird climbing over them, especially during the night. So the 222 config is just not a good option anymore. One thing that stood out on this flight was the really great crew, by the way. They managed to make this flight really enjoyable. But for me, this trip only had one purpose: flying on the A340-600. It's my favorite aircraft, and I don't know how long Lufthansa will still operate those giant quad jets. They will eventually be replaced by A350-1000s and maybe also the A380 that's coming back to Munich. So I'm taking every opportunity to fly on this majestic aircraft. Lufthansa is currently also flying out of Frankfurt with the A340-600 to New York and Hong Kong. And since we arrived at the satellite terminal, we still have to take a short train ride over to the main terminal too. And that's it for today's flight. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment down below. Have you ever flown on the A340-600? Let me know. And as always, see you in the sky.